Imagine playing Minecraft, but with less of that annoying terrain getting in your way. When was the last time you played on a Superflat world? What items were you able to get a hold of? And what limitations did you run into? With modern Minecraft and creators like MogSwamp, you wouldn't even run into limitations in Superflat. This wasn't always the case though. I'm going back through every update in Minecraft's history to see why some people say that the game doesn't feel the same anymore, and to see if that really is the case, and if it is, then when did everything change? Come along with this series as I replay every version of Minecraft's history to see how things changed along the way. This video is a little bit different from the rest, as I'm not playing the normal version of Minecraft to see its new terrain generation or any new features. Today, I'm playing Minecraft's first built-in challenge mode. Superflat is, as the name would suggest, flat. Like, hella flat. Like, flatter than the Earth. Flat Earthers unite. You are placed into a world with nothing more than grass and slimes as far as the eyes can see. Normally, you would assume that you can't do anything more than make yourself a dirt hut and log off. But luckily enough, in this world there are also villages that hold the key to advancing in this desolate wasteland. Wood, stone, and food. The keys to unlimited potential are given to a player here. The structure that unlocks the most potential in Superflat is the blacksmith. The one and only village building with a chest in this version. Key items found within the blacksmith chest, such as iron, diamonds, and obsidian, unlock the furthest steps in progression available to a Superflat player. With these tools at hand, I am going to not only survive, but thrive in this cruel, flat world. Let's make this part quick. Thank you so much for watching the video, and if you like it, please consider subscribing for more videos like these. Just like every other video, I started by creating a new world, and this time, going into the More World Options tab, I toggled Superflat mode, and jumped straight to the action. And to my surprise, I was greeted with nothing. There was nothing as far as the eye can see, a few cows in the distance being the most eye-catching thing in my vision, so, obviously, my first instinct was to slaughter them with my bare hands instantly. With nothing else to take my bloodlust out on, I decided to run in a direction until I could find anything at all. It did not take long at all for me to come across exactly what I was looking for, a village. Seeing the old village buildings was nostalgic. They don't look like this anymore. The buildings use many more blocks, and they are also much more spread out in a larger footprint than this village. I kinda liked that things felt much tighter in these older villages. I feel like there is an actual community here. I can imagine going through and upgrading all of these buildings to give them a purpose. Don't ask me to do that shit though, I don't want to. Villagers still have no purpose in this version, but they do come with a different skin, depending on which building they spawn in. In a library, you'll find a villager in a white robe, and in a church, you'll find one with a purple robe. Only when playing old versions of Minecraft do you truly come to appreciate how much has changed over the years. Moments like these, where I have culture shock from not being able to even trade with a villager, are when I get a glimpse into what people are meaning when they say that Minecraft isn't the same anymore. A little skip forward, and I've gotten myself some gear that I will be needing in order to thrive out here in the wasteland. I just so happen to be bunkered down for the night in the most iconic village house to take over and make into a makeshift base. If you know, you know. The most valuable thing villages have in store for me is the wood supply, as I cannot get my hands on infinite wood unlike the cobblestone generator I will be using later on. A few villages left ransacked later, and I found essentially the last things I would need for the long term in the world. With 10 obsidian, I now knew I could settle down and start to build out my ultimate Superflat compound. I don't know about you guys, but I'm old. I'm so old that my first memories of Superflat as a concept are of Jevin and his old Superflat survival Let's Play series from 13 years ago. A lot of the things that I'm doing now with YouTube are things I've dreamed of for years and years. All of it stemming from memories like the one I'm sharing about watching Jevin play Minecraft 13 years ago. If I can become a memory that someone else hold on to for years to come, then I'll be satisfied in my creative endeavors. With my inventory stuffed and an idea in my mind about the base I would come to build, I decided that this village would be my final resting place. Not so that I can enrich the village and bring life to its barren aesthetic, but so I could have easy access to tearing down every building I see fit in order to fulfill my own goals and aspirations. This village and its inhabitants are going to be put out on the street like a single mother that is 3 months behind on rent because I raised the rent by 100%. This village will wish that I'd been a psychopath in creative mode with a lava bucket. At least that torment would have been quick. This will be a slow degradation of their once prosperous community into a desolate slum uninhabitable to anyone who once called it home. Back to my base, I started humbly with the essentials: crafting table, furnace, chest, and bed. However, I wouldn't get away so easily with this tried and true first base TM. The slimes, which you will soon see are the greatest nuisance known to man, would never let me off so easily as to just have my scraps and leave me be. No. They will find you, and they will swarm you. Your ears will never go without the rhythmic plapping of slimes on grass so long as you are on their turf. I was no exception to this rule, and most likely spent about 25% of this entire video's recording time slaughtering as many slimes as physically possible. My hopes for this world were simple: to build myself a base that fit the vibe of Superflat. In this world, you don't ever feel comfortable. You feel like you are constantly in the middle of nowhere and vulnerable. So I needed to build myself an outlook compound with omnidirectional entrances in case I needed to come in from any direction to escape the onslaught of slimes. I made myself a cobblestone generator for an infinite supply of stone blocks. If I wasn't going to be able to have infinite wood, I might as well get myself a lot of stone. I had an idea of what I wanted the base to look like, and since this video isn't going to make itself, I got straight to work laying out the framework and was quite happy with this outline. Slowly cannibalizing the village I had settled nearby was ethereal. I walked these once populated streets and saw torn down houses and ravaged fields, all of which would soon be reused for my ultimate design. The next day, I decided that I would take a break from material gathering and look for a couple new villages to pillage. Getting some extra wheat and possibly some extra loot from blacksmiths would be amazing. Returning home and getting my own farm started, I yet again was suffering the infinite onslaught of slimes. I'm not even sure that this is how many slimes spawn in a modern Superflat world. This feels like the apocalypse every moment of the day. The only way to avoid being totally inundated with slimes is to run away and get everything done before they spawn in. Playing a game of tag or keep away to make sure you don't have to clear out hundreds of slimes just to make it back home safely. My computer was running out of storage while recording this video, and I ended up losing a lot of gameplay. One of the most tragic things I lost in that process was the moment I realized I was a complete idiot. When I was telling you about the loot found in blacksmiths earlier, I mentioned the iron, the diamonds, and the obsidian you can get from them. One thing I neglected to mention, because I wasn't even aware of its presence before recording this video, was that in these chests, there was a chance to get an item so valuable that the process of making this video would have been completely different. This item was a sapling. I had access to infinite wood the entire time. I had been decimating the neighboring village for all of its wood to the point of ruin for no reason. This sin will haunt me for the remainder of my futile life, and will haunt my bloodline for generations. With my sins unatoned for and my base coming along swimmingly, I had only a handful of things I wanted to get done before letting the sun set on this adventure. Firstly, I built and used my first ever full enchanting table setup in this series. Level 30 wasn't the hard cap at this time, and as cool as it would have been to hunt for the elusive level 50 enchant, I went with a measly level 31 on my iron pickaxe, only to end up with Unbreaking 3. Enchanting still took all 31 of the levels back then too, so this was quite the investment for a pickaxe that would never be used again after today. Secondly, I wanted to level up my lighting in the base, as torches would never do for a good boy like me who indulges in the finer things in life. This meant I needed to gather up the obsidian I had looted and make myself a nether portal. Funnily enough, I never actually planned a location for this portal to be placed from the beginning, so it had the honor of an undignified location on top of my base that was just out of the way enough to not annoy me. Yet again, my computer's lack of memory has cucked me, and I have no footage of the nether. Just know that I ran around, got myself some glowstone without incident. Placing these in felt like the cherry on top for my lookout, and with that, I was satisfied with my Superflat experience. I took my vantage one last time before heading downward through my base, satisfied with the resources I had gathered. Decimating the slimes that had been gathering outside the compound one last time was just as annoying the final time as every other time. My rage towards these cuboid monstrosities is still unsated, and I will be taking it out on their brethren in the future. I turned from my illustrious base towards the ravaged village in its wake. This village has supplied me with the life that I live now. Even if it wasn't actually necessary, as I could have found saplings much earlier, the sacrifice the villagers made will not go unacknowledged, and we will not soon forget their sacrifice. Minecraft 1.1 adding Superflat to the Minecraft experience was not one that I could have seen coming, but has since become something that I could never imagine not being in the game. This has been the 1.1 Minecraft Superflat experience. I hope you all enjoyed watching this video. Like and subscribe if you did. If you didn't, then comment that I suck. It'll be pretty funny. Thank you for watching. Later.